A soft hush descended upon Windsor Castle's ancient precincts as dawn broke over its battlements, spilling pale light across the dewy lawns. In one of the castle's hushed corridors, the heavy oak doors to Adelaide Cottage stood under vigilant guard, their brass handles gleaming like silent sentinels. Few could have imagined that, just days earlier, those very gates were the stage for a breach that sent shockwaves through the palace's tight-knit world, an intrusion so unsettling that it cast a shadow over the Princess of Wales's carefully scheduled return to duty. Just 2 weeks ago, royal watchers noted an unusual stillness. While Prince William carried his usual engagements, welcoming ambassadors, championing environmental initiatives, and hosting state visitors, his wife, Catherine, had been conspicuously absent from the public roster. Palace insiders explained simply that the couple were taking advantage of the October half-term to enjoy precious family time with their 3 children, George, now 12, Charlotte at 10, and little Louis, 7. Reports of family bike rides through the Cotswolds and evening board games by the fire offered a rare glimpse of the royals as an ordinary family cherishing each other's company away from cameras and protocol. That period of retreat was more than a customary interlude, it was a deliberate carving out of normalcy. In royal circles, they whispered approval. Catherine's devotion to motherhood, amid the relentless glare of her public role, spoke more to the public than any charity visit or speech ever could. Yet, as the family holiday drew to a close, the palace prepared for Catherine's re-entry into official life, an affair executed with characteristic discretion. On a grey Thursday morning, the court circular quietly announced her first engagement since the break, a Windsor Castle meeting to review the progress of her early years project, the campaign she launched with heartfelt determination in 2021 to spotlight the critical impact of childhood's first 5 years. That meeting, held in a stately room overlooking the castle's fragrant herb garden, embodied everything Catherine represents: keen intellect, empathic leadership, and an unwavering commitment to social causes. Attendees recalled how she arrived in a tailored dove-grey coat dress, her auburn hair swept back in a loose chignon, conveying both serenity and purpose. As she greeted experts in neuroscience, education, and public health, the intimate circle seemed drawn into her orbit. Her warm smile and genuine attentiveness, even pausing mid-conversation to adjust the notes of a researcher suffering jet lag, demonstrated that this was no ceremonial patronage but a personal mission. She probed gently yet pointedly, how could community programs be expanded? What innovation was needed in early years screening? Each question underscored her hands-on approach. Yet while Catherine steered these vital discussions, palace security teams were racing to contain news of Sunday's intrusion. According to a Metropolitan Police statement, a man in his 30s had scaled a discreet perimeter near Adelaide Cottage in the pre-dawn hours. Under cover of darkness, he breached the restricted zone, ground so tightly guarded that even veteran officers admitted to alarm at the lapse. Cameras captured a lone figure, darting across manicured lawns before officers chased him down near the Rose Garden. He was arrested, disheveled and disoriented, carrying a cache of Class A substances. Why he chose that precise hour, and whether he harbored darker intent or merely sought a reckless thrill, remained questions under urgent investigation. The discovery that the intruder carried hard drugs only intensified the unease. Was he driven by addiction, political motive, or an unsettling desire to confront the royals on their own doorstep? In any event, the breach struck at the heart of royal security doctrine. Windsor's sprawling estate, its ancient walls and rolling grounds more a fortress than a home, represents both heritage and vulnerability. The elegance of its courtyards and the solemnity of its sovereign's chapel could not mask the simple fact that someone had waltzed where only the most trusted aides and family were meant to tread. Inside the palace, the atmosphere turned tense. Warders in crimson uniforms exchanged muted looks as new security protocols were drawn up overnight. Officers retraced the intruder's steps, painstakingly mapping every camera feed and sealed door. Palace sources describe urgent late-night briefings, where the King's private secretary and the head of royal protection hashed out revised watch rosters and proposed reinforcing electronic barriers. Every lock was tested, every patrol pattern scrutinized. In the midst of this flurry, Catherine's Windsor meeting loomed like a beacon of calm, yet even there, the air hummed with concern. Attendees murmured sympathy, their admiration mingled with relief that no harm had come to the children ensconced in their cottage just yards away. As Catherine concluded her early years session, stepping into the crisp afternoon air to address the gathered press in a soft-spoken statement, the undercurrent of unease was palpable. She spoke of resilience and the importance of community support, her words measured but carrying a shimmer of defiance. "Our work does not pause for fear," she declared, her blue-grey eyes reflecting both resolve and weariness. "We safeguard our children's future by confronting challenges head-on." The journalists noted how she paused, perhaps recalling the weekend scare, before adding, "And we will continue to meet every obstacle with unwavering commitment." That evening, the palace gates closed on another day of shadowed anxieties and steadfast duty. In Clarence House, Prince William reviewed the incident report alongside his security team, his face taut with concern. "We owe her every assurance of safety," he told an aide, according to an insider. Across town, in the quiet of Kensington Palace, Catherine's own advisors prepared her schedule for the coming weeks: school visits, mental health roundtables, and policy summits, each designed to reinforce the public's confidence in her mission and perhaps to signal that no breach, however unsettling, could derail the Crown's work. Yet, even as routines resumed, the incident prompted deeper reflections within the royal household. Windsor's breach underscored a stark truth: public service and private sanctuary must coexist within fragile boundaries. For Catherine, whose very role hinges on trust in early educators, in governmental support, in the belief that every child deserves a safe beginning, the violation of her family's home struck a personal chord. At night, aides say, she lingers over the castle's ancient maps, tracing the lines between public thoroughfares and private lanes, determined that no such weakness goes unaddressed. Slowly, the palace's machinery of protection churned into action. New sensor sweeps were scheduled, patrol zones adjusted to cover darkened alcoves. Liaison officers from Thames Valley Police joined forces with Royal Guards in a collaborative security task force, one that combined cutting-edge surveillance technology with the centuries-old vigilance of Windsor's sentries. By week's end, the intruder's path had been sealed off, and yet the memory of his footsteps remained, a ghostly imprint on the castle's hallowed stones. In the midst of these protective measures, Catherine's public schedule grew ever more resolute. She toured a community playgroup in Slough, kneeling to assess a toddler's grip on a building block. She visited a hospice in Guildford, pressing the hands of nurses who praised her quiet empathy. She convened a parliamentary roundtable in Westminster, urging MPs to integrate early years funding into national budgets. At each stop, photographers caught fleeting moments: a hand placed gently on a shoulder, a glance of shared sorrow, a fleeting smile exchanged behind mask-covered faces, gestures that transcended ceremonial duties to reveal the human heart at the monarchy's core. Through it all, palace insiders note, Catherine's demeanor has been one of steadfast calm. Yet those closest to her admit that she carries the weight of recent events in her posture, shoulders squared against unseen burdens, her voice steady but laced with urgency. She could have withdrawn, one aide confides, but she chose to re-engage with purpose. Her return to Windsor was more than an appointment, it was a statement that fear will not cede ground to progress. As the first frost blankets Windsor's gardens and cranes raise the seasonal tapestries in the great halls, the palace prepares for renewed guard rotations and updated security briefings. Behind the ancient stone walls, the silent promise of vigilance stands firm. And at the heart of it all, the Princess of Wales continues her mission, championing the youngest citizens even as her own children play beneath the castle's turrets, their laughter a testament to the home that must remain inviolable. This confluence of family pause, security breach, and Catherine's purposeful return offers a vivid portrait of the modern monarchy, at once steeped in tradition and perpetually adapting to new challenges. It reminds us that behind the ceremonial pageantry lies a reality of complex risks and quiet heroism. For Catherine, her children, and the entire royal household, the past week has tested the bond between public role and private refuge and reaffirmed that, in the face of intrusion, steadfast dedication can turn tragedy into triumph. What are your thoughts on the Princess of Wales's swift resumption of duties and the haunting breach at Windsor? Do you find reassurance in her unwavering commitment, or do you believe more must be done to safeguard the royal family's sanctuaries? Share your perspectives below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more intimate insights into the Crown's ongoing story. Until next time, thank you for watching and for holding a space in your hearts for a family whose every step is both a duty and a discovery.